Hello there everyone and welcome to lesson 0.1, which is class syllabus for IB History 2. By the end of this particular lesson, you should be able to do each of the following items. You should be able to describe the basics of the course syllabus, such as teacher contact, office hours, and grade breakdown. You should be able to explain the daily routines of the classroom, also the different policies in our classroom, such as name policy, restroom policy, etc., etc., etc. Also, you should be able to explain what self-paced learning is and the model that we use in this classroom, and then also describe the unit breakdowns for the unit for each unit of the course. So, jumping straight into the course syllabus, obviously everyone knows my name is Richard Albrecht. I'm your course teacher or course instructor. Here is my email address, so of course all of you have that to send me any emails that you may need throughout the school year. But here's just a little caveat about sending me emails, please. You know, any emails that are sent during the weekend will be answered by the next business day. So I do take the weekends off. So if you send me an email on Saturday, you may not get a response on Saturday. It'll be answered the next business day on Monday. And any emails that are sent after 5 p.m. So if you send me an email at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening, I will not see it until I open my email the next morning. So just be sure that you understand that, so that doesn't send any confusion out to you. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 3:20 to 4 p.m., and Wednesday during team time. And you'll get more information about team time in a couple of weeks once all of that information is finalized. In terms of our grade breakdown, it's a pretty standard breakdown. We have 4 different criterion that your grade is based on. Criterion A, B, and C are all 30% each, and then criterion D, which is use and application of skills, is only 10%. And the reason why is that that particular criterion is largely just for the historical investigation, and the historical investigation is only one component of the course, so that's why it's only 10%. So because the rest of the course is much more composed of the other 3. In terms of grading, nothing has changed at all since last school year, so we still use the same standard-based grading system, 1 through 8 scale, and there it is right there for you. And then to translate all of that into what your grade would be in terms of percentage, so that you can know it for colleges and scholarships and any other reasons you may need to know it, it is right here in the farthest right-hand column. So in terms of daily routines in our classroom, this is how things will work. If you look at the picture here on the left, this is going to be the place known as the command center. So if I ever tell you to go to the command center, this is the place that I'm referring to in our classroom. You notice it's in the corner right by the front door. And if you'll notice that's where the bulletin board is, and then there's the table, and it has a lamp on it, all that stuff. So you'll know what it is when you see it in the classroom. But that is the command center. And so when you first walk into the door, the first place that you're going to do is after you put your items down next to your desk, you're going to come over here to the command center. And when you come to the command center, you will notice that there is a green folder here. It's not on the wall right now, but it will be shortly. But there's a green folder there, and that will be labeled Do Now Sheets. And that is where you will pick up one of your Do Now Sheets, the ones that you did just the other day. And so you will pick one of those up and you will complete them. And then you will wait until I have, finished my morning routine or whatever it is I need to do before. And I will start telling people, if you're ready to turn in your Do Now sheet, please go ahead and do so, and then you can come up to me, and then that's how we will take attendance each day. This is going to give me an opportunity to greet each and every single one of you one by one, to be able to look you in the face, greet you, to see how you are, and to check in on you and all of that, and to answer any brief questions you might have. So that is the first thing that you're going to do in terms of daily routine. Come into the door, drop your stuff off, go to the command center, pick up your Do Now sheet, go back to your seat, complete it, and wait until I make a statement that I'm ready to get them. And in terms of the seating in the classroom, if you'll notice here on the farthest right-hand side, these are the actual desks that you sit in the classroom. And of course, in this picture, they are all clumped together, not for social distancing, but of course, we are social distanced in our classroom at this moment. But this is where you will sit every day in class. This table over here is the conference table. And the conference table is where I will actually hold individual group meetings with you. So this is why you don't sit here during class, because there will be a group of students coming in and out, once or twice each class period. So that is the reason why that place is reserved. Okay, so let's just jump into the specifics of the syllabus. If you wish to follow along with me and click on the syllabus link in the Google Classroom, that is perfectly fine. Where you just find the segment where it says name policy, and that's where we're going to start. So first of all, the name policy, all that it means is that, I want to honor and respect you and your name. So if I mispronounce your name in any way, shape, or fashion, please keep after me to pronounce your name correctly, so that I may respect and honor you for your name, because your name is who you are and who you identify, and I want to be respectful for that. So that is my name policy that I require for you to constantly correct me if I mispronounce your name until I get it. So I appreciate you for following that with me. In terms of engagement, all I ask from you is that please participate in class. I do need to see that you are working with me, that you're responding with me, that you're not just zoning out. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to kind of disengage in my classroom, and the reason being is because we are self-paced. And since we are self-paced and we're going to be working in small groups, you're going to kind of be interacting with me more than you probably would if we were doing a traditional standard classroom. So just engage with me and participate, and then I will be able to work with you and give you the help that you need to be successful in my class. Behavior policy, it's a simple rule. Do right and we will be all right. You just do the right thing, because I'm always going to respect you, and I just always ask that you respect me in return. And so when we have an established respect, then there's going to always be, a clear path for us to both communicate at all times. So just do right, and then I will do right by you, and you do right by me, and everything will be a-okay. In terms of late work and extensions, honestly, there really is no real policy for late work, because my class is self-paced. And since my class is self-paced, I will tell you every single week, at the beginning of each week, back at the command center, if you'll remember on the previous slide, at the command center, there will be a list of, up there by the command center is where the Hansards are. There's sheets of paper that are actually clipped to the dry erase board. And those things are going to give a list of all the things that we're going to complete that week. So it tells you which lesson you should have completed by the end of that week. So if you're absent for one reason or another, you're not behind. You just need to make sure that by the end of this week that you have that particular lesson done. If you don't get it done, well, you know that the next week we're going to continue to move on, but you just know that you have these lessons that you have to continue to move through. And again, since we're going to be working in small groups, and again, I want to address and make sure that we are keeping up with that. We are working in small groups. Since we're working in small groups, I'm going to be able to work with you if you start to fall behind, and then be able to work out some kind of a plan to help you be successful in terms of workload and management and that kind of thing. But do be aware, though, that units do have end dates, so be aware of that. So there are times where we're going to have to just cut it off, because we have to start you up with the new unit stuff. So just be aware of that. And in terms of the restroom policy, if you will look at the door in the classroom, on the back side of the door, there is a white small dry erase marker. It's just going to ask you your name, the date, the time, and where you're going. So if you need to go to the restroom, you'll just put RR for restroom. If you're going to counselor, just write counselor. If you're taking a break, you can just say break. But remember, breaks are just supposed to be about 10 minutes. And then make sure you put the time there, because I need to know what time you left, so that if you are gone for longer than a 10-minute period, then I can send a message out to the staff to check on you, because you're not returning back within 10 minutes. Okay, so that's how you leave the classroom for going to the restroom. In terms of my food policy, if you look in the syllabus, it says that, I don't mind if you eat in my classroom, et cetera, et cetera. And that is true, and my syllabus is correct. However, given the current pandemic situation, we at the school have asked that we not allow you to eat in the classroom around, in class time because, masks being down, et cetera, et cetera. So at this point, we will have to forego that particular policy. So we'll follow the school's policy of no food in the classroom at this time. In terms of my phone policy, I do not take up phones in any capacity. I will ask you to put it away and that kind of thing. But other than that, I'm not going to chase it away from you or anything like that. But just be respectful if I do ask you to put it away because it is becoming a problem. In terms of the remote learning policy, you want to make sure you look at that through the syllabus. And if there are questions, you can let me know about what questions you have in terms of the remote learning policy. But this policy is basically if we go back to a hybrid learning model, which, it depends on, circumstances and whatnot. So, but if we go back to just refresh yourself there about what remote learning looks like and what to expect. And then this particular section over here is not something that requires a lot of real explaining to you, but just take a look in the syllabus about the proper way to address teachers and when you're emailing them. So, just how do you, start an email? What kind of tone should you use? The type of emails that you would send a teacher are things like, late work, or extensions or questions about that. Letters of recommendation, those are types of things that you would send about. Remember that those are types of things we're also going to be looking at when we're making those letters of recommendation is how professional you are in communication. In terms of tutoring, I have my office hours at the top of the syllabus on the first page, so you can see that, and it's also in team time on Wednesdays. And then final reminders, just make sure that you understand that to pay attention to deadlines and due dates, because even though we are self-paced, there are deadlines and due dates. And with the self-paced class, as I said, there's also due dates. And if you're interested to learn more about what model I'm using, I'm modifying it, so I'm not using exactly what they do, but I am modifying it. But this is also a group that I actually work with. I am contracted with them at times to actually train teachers on this model, but it's called the Modern Classrooms Project. So if you're interested, you can actually Google it to learn more. And lastly, here is our unit breakdown for the school year. So Unit 0 is the one we're currently in, and this is our return to normal, and I'm going to introduce you to the class simulation. Around mid-September through October, we're going to work on that historical investigation, and this is where we are going to complete the final draft. Those of you that have Miss Henson during this time period, I encourage you you're going to go through the process with us again, because the vast majority of the students in class have not finished the HI, because I taught most of them, most of the IB1 sections last year. So you'll go through the process with us, and you will have an opportunity to redo your HI to improve upon it. But this will be your final draft, and my students, former students from last year, this will be their final draft. And so that will be turned in by October 26th. Then the last half of the semester, we're going to work on independence movements, and this is where we're going to do Zimbabwe as a case study, and then you guys can choose any one of these 4 different countries to study independently and compare and contrast with Zimbabwe. It's very similar to the activity that we did last year with authoritarian leaders. And then at the end of the school year, our second semester, we're going to do our final 2 topics, which are both paper 1 topics, and that is apartheid in South Africa is what we will start with in January into February, and then February into April, we will end the school year with civil rights. And then, of course, we will jump right into review for IB exams after that. So there you have it. Our lesson has concluded. So at this time, we have turned our lesson objectives into questions. So take a look at each one of these questions. Can you describe the basics of the course? Can you explain the daily routines of the course? Can you explain the different policies of the classroom? Can you explain what self-paced learning is and the model that's used? And can you describe the unit breakdown for our course? If you can, pat yourself on the back. You did an amazing job. The stop sign says that we're here at the end. So complete any required activity for lesson 0.1, and then you can move on to lesson 0.2 if it's uploaded for you. Thanks so much and have a great day.